SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Are you a business owner looking for help with HR benefits and payroll? MWG Employer Services offers a wide range of services and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget.
I was so overwhelmed with HR stuff. MWG Employer Services took all the stress out of it and even set up my payroll. I couldn't be happier. MWG
Employer Services is here to help you succeed. Call us today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
What's up? Welcome in. Michael Borky, Brian Haydad, Sports Talk Mississippi with you on this. Gosh, it's already Thursday.
You and I are the opposite of each other in every way. You know, never mind the State Ole Miss, never mind the blonde brunette, never mind the old and young. You every week are like, wow, it's already Thursday. Whereas I'm always like, dang it, it's only Thursday. It's every week you say something like, it's only Thursday. And every week I'm like, how is it only Thursday? It feels like it should be next Thursday. I've never met a person more opposite than me than you.
Well, I mean, I had to get through today.
Pistachios?
I do.
All right, we got that in common.
I do. I don't like having to deal with cracking them open.
I buy the pre-cracked.
Yeah, that's a pain in the what.
The pre-cracked pistachios are an S-tier invention. It's up there with sliced bread.
Now, how do you feel about peanuts?
Love them.
But what about peanuts in the shell?
Oh, no. We're buying just dry roasted.
See, for some reason, I know this is so stupid. I know how this is going to sound, but for some reason, if they served pistachio in the shell at like a baseball game, that'd be a hard no. But I have no problem buying a bag of peanuts.
There you go.
Make that make sense, hey, Dad. I like pistachios better, but I will go buy, happily eat peanuts at any game and enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe it's the nostalgia or something. I wish I could tell you. My brain sometimes baffles myself. I don't know what to do with me sometimes, but we are here, and we are glad that you guys are here. It's Bold Predictions Day. 16 bold predictions. I struggled with 3 of them. No idea what to do, for example, with Arkansas. No idea what to do with Arkansas, but it's okay. We've got 16, and then coming up here in about 30 minutes, we'll talk to our friend John Talty about college football. I don't want to make the entire thing about a book that he's got coming out.
We are going to ask him about his book.
We are going to ask him about his book, and then when it gets closer to publish, we'll have him back on to really talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's LSU week, for sure.
So, yeah, we'll do that then. But he's got a book coming out. He's got a few, actually, but we'll talk college football with him and then tell you about what he's got cooking. And then we'll talk Saints training camp. They had day 2 of practice, but first day that fans got to go to today in New Orleans. And no Taysom Hill. They released a statement last night that Taysom Hill will no longer be in New Orleans Saint. He doesn't know what he's going to do yet with his life or career.
I think he'll retire.
I think so, too.
We'll talk to John about that, though. John Sokoloff will join us from down there. The King of New Orleans will join us in the 4 o'clock hour.
The tallest man in an NFL and NBA press pool. And that's impressive because that's a big – they have a lot of people that work there, and he stands out.
You think when he covers the Pelicans, maybe 5 of their players' tops are taller than him. So
it's amazing.
He's almost looking eye to eye with Zion when he has those discussions. So we are in the Pearl River Resort studios, Pearl River Resort, pearlriverresort.com. Book your stay now. If you want to have a great weekend, if you want to play golf, if you want to go out to the water park with your family, if you want to have a fantastic meal, if you want to see some awesome live entertainment, you can do it all in one place. That's Pearl River Resort. So book your stay now at PearlRiverResort.com. C Spire text line, open to you, 601-879-4395. With C Spire, it's easier than ever to get all the devices you want in one move with the Ultimate Connect bundle. Right now, new and current customers can get a free phone, watch, and tablet, plus 100 gigs of data for just $90. That includes the new iPhone 17 and Samsung Galaxy S26 for free, and a free smartwatch and tablet to go with it. So don't wait. There's more to see. Visit cspire.com or stop by your local C Spire store today. C Spire, inspired by you.
The Save College Sports bill thing is possibly not even going to get through a vote. We'll see. Whatever. We're not going to talk about that today.
One of the least shocking things ever. You mean the government guys, they talked a big game and then couldn't get it done? Who would have guessed?
Imagine that. I can't believe it. 6 years of lobbying probably down the drain. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We are talking bold predictions. Now, some of mine aren't I tried to make some of them as realistic as I could. And then some of them are a little out there. But we've got 16 bold predictions for 16 teams in the SEC. We're going to go in alphabetical order, if that's okay with you, Brian Haydad. And so, therefore,
I wanted to go in order of the date of the university's opening.
I mean,
Georgia would probably be first.
I could get Chat GPT to sort that for me.
Georgia and then South Carolina, I bet, would be the first two. If you made me guess. Yeah, I want to know.
There
now.
are some colleges that predate the United States of America. So
Georgia is certainly one of them, you would think. When did the University of Georgia open?
Sort the SEC by when the schools were founded.
University of Georgia opened 1785.
South Carolina 2, 1794. Kentucky 3 a year later.
Kentucky.
How about that?
I would not have guessed that.
Tennessee 1798. Alabama 1801. LSU 1804. Missouri 1838. Arkansas 1841. Texas 1845. This is wrong. See,
Yeah,
AI is wrong. Because it says Ole Miss was founded in 1908.
I don't think that's correct.
That is very incorrect. So
when
never mind.
When does it say Mississippi State was founded?
Mississippi State, 1878.
Flagship.
So they got that correct.
We're the oldest university, according to Claude or whatever you're looking at.
Chat GPT. That is that's just inaccurate. So never mind. We can't use that. So
we'll just go with alphabetical then.
We will do it alphabetical. Alabama, do you have a bold prediction? Mine's it's a cop-out. Hey, Dad, you're not going to like mine. So
I want to hear yours first then.
They make the college football playoff.
Mine is they don't make the college football playoff.
Yes. I think Alabama's going to make the playoff.
And I don't know if they'll pull the trigger because they idiotically gave him an extension in May when no one's hiring college football coaches.
They owe him like $78 million.
They would owe him a ton of money. And all I've ever heard about Alabama is that in the NIL world, they don't have the money you would expect them to. So I don't know if they're going to fire him or not, but I don't think they make the college football playoff. That's a bold prediction. Hey, yours isn't bold at all.
But
Alabama makes the playoff is like sunrises in the east.
They're not currently projected to, but I do think Alabama, so we'll get to another one in a second. I think Alabama will face Georgia in the SEC championship game again. Because we see that matchup so often, or have lately. Yeah, I think Alabama's going to the college football playoff.
All right. What do you got for Arkansas?
They do not finish last in the SEC.
Oh, they have a chance to do that. You see the blue chip report that came out today? It came out today.
Oh, I didn't see. I don't know how I missed that. The blue chip index.
I saw the end. So Vanderbilt, we'll go down to them, but they're at 18%. How are people predicting them to win all these games? They don't have the transcendent quarterback anymore. I just want to point that out. My Arkansas prediction is, when I look at my prediction for them, I have them 2-10. I have them beating. So I guess is that my bold prediction? They have the same record as last year. Like they aren't improving this year.
They don't take a single step forward.
2-10, 0-9. I guess they're technically worse because they lose an extra SEC game. But no, I don't think I think they'll beat North Alabama, and I think they'll beat Tulsa, and that's it. I don't think they'll win at Utah. I don't think they're beating Georgia. I don't think they're winning at A&M. I don't think they're beating Tennessee. At Vanderbilt might be their only chance. I don't think they beat Missouri.
Are you confident they're walking into First Bank Stadium and coming away with a win?
No,
I'm certainly not.
No. So, yeah. My bold prediction for Arkansas is they aren't any better in year 1 of Ryan Silverfield than they were of year 6 of Sam Pittman.
When's the day going to come when Hey Dad doesn't say you until the first break? Monday. Hey Dad will not say you through the first break on Monday.
Well, I say you? What?
When you do the C Spire read, you wait a little while. Monday you won't say you. Oh,
I see what he's saying. That would be hilarious. Just like, well, I'll give you a heads up, you just once I say inspired by, you just start talking.
Do a whole segment.
No. 5:53. We come from a commercial. You. We'll never top it.
That would be.
I do a Facebook. I do a Twitter video as I'm walking out the door.
Get
in my car. You. That's it.
I saw a video of a podcast that they played. It's an hour-long video, but randomly a Michael Jackson sound will pop up out of nowhere. So like out of nowhere. And they're sitting there trying to do their podcast. They have this on full blast, and like 15 minutes in, they get hit with one of those. We need to do something like that, too, because I was dying laughing because it shocked them. They were like, oh.
That's great. Yeah, we definitely need a soundboard that has some funny sounds on it. You're listening to Dingo and the Baby.
More bold predictions. We come back with Auburn when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi from the Pearl River Resort Studio.
From the Mississippi Talk Mississippi continues.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. All right, we left off bold predictions.
Bold
on
spicy.
And I'm not doing a very good job of this.
Hotter than a habanero on the Scoville unit.
Auburn. Your bold prediction for Auburn.
This is a weird one, all right? They're going to be successful under Alex Golish, but not this year. Not this year. I really buy into that guy. I love the way he coaches. I love an aggressive offensive coach. DJ Durkin is a really good defensive coordinator. They will get players in there, but bringing over the whole South Florida roster and saying win in the SEC with that, no, look, it worked for Cignetti. And I'm not saying that he's Cignetti, but I just don't see it working the same way. I think this year they struggle, but next year they start taking off a little bit.
Mine is it won't happen. Like he's not getting fired, but by Sunday morning, October 18th, the fan base at large will be calling for him to be terminated after 1 year.
Oh.
They've got to play Florida. Roll your eyes about Vanderbilt all you wish, but they got Florida, Vanderbilt, at Tennessee, at Georgia.
I have them 3-3 at that point. I think that'd be okay.
They'd be doing okay at 3-3 there, but I mean, is anybody confident at all they're beating Baylor? I didn't even mention Baylor in the season opener. So I think they're going to have at least 4 losses by October 17th, and it's an awfully proud fan base that thinks really highly of themselves, and they're not going to stand for that. Now, he's going to see year 2, of course. I mean, but they will be so mad by then. Every Auburn message board, everything, fire him. He's clearly not the right guy. We got it wrong. Should have hired Summerall even though he didn't want that job, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. For Florida, my bold prediction is on the periphery of the playoff in year 1.
Dang it, we're the same.
Yeah, I buy into that guy. By the way, his takedown of Dan Orlovsky yesterday, beautiful. I am not a Dan Orlovsky fan. Ever since he admitted the only thing he has in his spice cabinet is salt and pepper, I'm out. I'm out right then on Dan Orlovsky. You're not a real man. Yeah, I think Florida probably wins 9 games this year. That's what I've got them written down to do. I think they're going to be a team that, Georgia and Texas and Ole Miss, the teams that, are going to be voted ahead of them in the SEC, they don't want any of that. Those games are going to be super tough for those 3 teams, especially Ole Miss, at home, and Georgia, of course, is the neutral site. Going to be tough games for those teams. Yeah. I think Florida's going to be really, really good. I guess my hot take is Florida is the most improved team in the SEC this year.
I agree completely. You hate that they have to go to Texas and they have to. I know Florida State might stink out loud by then, but they're on the road in their rival game. You mentioned Georgia. You mentioned Ole Miss. It's not an easy schedule, but yeah, I wrote down fringe playoff team for Florida in year 1. What about Georgia?
I mean, what can you say that's bold about them at this point?
So mine is undefeated.
I have them undefeated too, but I guess my bold prediction would be under 4.5 players arrested for speeding.
That's really bold.
I wish I could bet on that.
You're crazy, man. That ain't happening.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I guess the
because remember every over/under win total.
This is Carlos. Hold on.
There wasn't a single team in the SEC that had an over/under win total of double digits.
Yeah.
So
they'll easily cash that. They have the easiest schedule in the conference. They do have the tough games at Alabama and Ole Miss, but they'll be favored in both of those games, I bet. And they miss Texas this year. They miss LSU. I think they're at 12-0.
I'm a big believer in Gunnar Stockton. I'm a big believer in Kirby Smart. It's not like people are like, oh, Georgia took a step back. No, they didn't. They lost in a playoff game on a last-second field goal to a 13-win team. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? They took a step backwards. They have not taken a step backwards. They can't amass the depth that they used to, but they're still a machine, and they're going to prove that to everybody this year. What about Kentucky?
Tough to have a bold prediction for Kentucky because I just don't have a great feel for the Wildcats. My bold prediction, though, is that his first year is like Mullen's first year. They're better. They play better in every game. They scare a couple of teams. And then on the last weekend of the season, they get a win over their big rival, and that gives them momentum going into next year. So I guess my bold prediction is much improved and will beat Louisville.
Mine's along a similar axis. Kentucky was picked to finish 14th in the SEC, and I wrote down here that they will finish in the top half of the league.
Ooh.
So a rather significant jump ahead compared to what they were predicted preseason. But, I mean, they should be good up front. I like what I hear him say about his quarterback anyway. Now, the schedule just sucks. They are in College Station, they're in Columbia, they're in Norman, they're in Knoxville, and they are in Columbia again. That sucks.
It's tough.
But, to finish 7th in the league, you don't have to go win all those games, So I'm a believer early. They had a good portal class. And, I think the league's going to just eat its own, and Kentucky will kind of emerge as a team that surprised people.
All right. The LSU Tigers.
I don't know how bold this is, but I think Lane Kiffin will lose both revenge games. He's got 2.
Oh, to Tennessee?
He will lose to Tennessee in Knoxville as well. I think LSU is losing both of the emotional return to wherever games to Knoxville and in Oxford.
Okay. Mine is that this is bold. LSU has a relatively drama-free season. I have them.
That is really bold.
I have them 10-2 in the college football playoff. Everything fine in year 1 for them. I have him beating Ole Miss. I have him beating Tennessee. I have them losing to Texas. And I think I've been talking about this for a while. That week 4, right after the Ole Miss game, I think they lose to A&M there. But 10-2, easy sailing for year 1. That for Lane Kiffin, that is a bold prediction. I love the tweet today, by the way. What do you guys tell me about this Lane Kiffin guy from Freddie? I was just like, buddy, how long you got?
Somebody bought that account, right? That's not Freddie anymore.
It's got to be, yeah. So,
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss will enter October 2-2.
Enter October.
Mm-hmm. They'll win the first 2, but they're going to lose to LSU and at Florida.
You think so? That is bold.
Well, that's bold.
They will. Yeah,
I think they lose to LSU, and the emotion of losing that game carries over into next week, and you play a really good Florida team.
Mine is the defense may not reach the level of 2024. Will be in a similar tier as the 24 defense. I don't know about everything else, but I do think personnel-wise, they didn't have to operate on a budget in this portal cycle, and that has shown itself. Especially at the linebacker position and in the secondary. They have a different caliber of athlete. They didn't have to, quote-unquote, play Moneyball with those two positions. They had to play Moneyball with linebacker last year with where they had to get these guys and what caliber of player they were. Not the case this offseason. They spent a lot more. They think they have really elevated the floor of that defense. And
they should be good.
They should be. There's no excuses to not be really good. They spent a whole lot. They have a defensive-minded head coach. If you're not good defensively, then what are you doing? So.
All right. Mississippi State, what's yours?
All right.
This feels like it's going to require some explanation. I can already feel it.
So I think the 4 most difficult games on Mississippi State's schedule this year. I know
right in the middle.
And I'm taking Alabama out of this equation because.
Oh, so then it's not okay. I know where you're going then.
Oklahoma, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss.
Okay.
They're going to get one of them.
So you think Alabama's going to go to the playoff, but you don't think that's one of State's 4 most difficult games?
I didn't want to say they're going to go 1-5 or 1-4 in 5 games. I wanted to get rid of one.
All right.
Just for the sake of
I would have gotten
rid
of Oklahoma if that's the case.
But Oklahoma sandwiched in between road trips to Baton Rouge and Austin.
Very tough. They're going to get one of those games, you say?
I think they're going to get one. They're going to go get somebody they're not supposed to. They're going to have that win that they should have had last year against Texas or Tennessee. They're going to go get somebody this year, and it'll change. It'll change the calculus of Jeff Lebby's tenure.
Oh goodness!
But I think they're going to go. They're going to play up, and they're going to get one of the best teams on their schedule.
Last year, my bold prediction was if State starts 4-0, I predict them to beat Tennessee. I might do the same here. If they start 4-0. I'll predict them to beat Alabama. But that's not mine. Can I have like a real if in here? Can a bold prediction have an if? Because I need something. If something happens, then the bold prediction will happen, is what I'm trying to say. If State is 7 wins or better, Kamario Taylor will be the first team All-SEC quarterback.
Not at 7 wins.
I'm telling you, he is going to have to play at that level to get State to 7 wins. We're talking 3,500 to passing, 800 rushing, and 40-some-odd touchdowns.
Even with Arnett there, you think that he's got to do that in order to get to those wins?
Yeah, I do.
We're going to have to put this on pause. I love it.
We got what, 7 more schools to do here.
We do. So we're going to take our time, and that's okay because camp starts in 5 days in the state of Mississippi, by the way. So we're getting closer, but we got to pause and talk to our friend John Talty. We will do that on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back. Sports Talk Mississippi, Pearl River Resort Studio.
Listen
from the flatlands of Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Every minute worth waiting for.
Super Talk Mississippi.
We go to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. He's an author. He's a lot more than that, but we'll tell you about something that he's got in the works coming up here in a little bit. John Talty covers college football. You know him. He's been around and a guest on this show for a long time, and we always appreciate his time. John, we were doing our bold predictions, as most people do every offseason. We were going through ours. Do you have one in the SEC, regardless of team, one that you think is super bold, that you've been holding on to this offseason that you think is going to happen this year?
You know, it's interesting. I feel like I was a lot more bullish on Ole Miss nationally, but then you saw the poll results, at SC Media Days, where I guess it seems like my take is not as outlandish as maybe, I thought based on some of the early polls. But I've been pretty bullish on Ole Miss being a playoff team all offseason, and I felt like I was in the minority on that, but maybe not as quite in that area as I thought. But I just feel like nationally Ole Miss has kind of been discounted given all the talent they have coming back and, where I think they might even improve in certain areas, maybe from where they've been in the past too.
So let's flip that around then, John. Who's somebody you're bearish on, somebody you're not high on that maybe some other prognosticators are?
Yeah, that is a good question. I'm trying to remember who else was high up on the top of the SEC rankings. I'm trying to think who the top five. Obviously, LSU's up there. It seems like SEC people are a little bit more down on them than
Bama?
Others are, nationally.
Bama?
Yeah, I mean, I probably am more down on Bama than the average person, I would think. There's a lot of emphasis, I think, on what's going to be a really unproven option at quarterback, which we've talked about, I think, on the show in the past. And I just think that there's always going to be something a little missing with what they're trying to do relative to, what we've, of course, seen in the past. Like, I just think the style of play, the personalities involved in that coaching staff, the way that they, try to go about things, I don't know, I just don't see a title contender there right now. Certainly not relative to how they're recruiting. So if that's what the expectations are, then I'm certainly more bearish, and I could see that being, an 8-4 type team this season.
So the team I think that has become kind of like the under-the-radar team, because you mentioned Ole Miss. I don't think they're under the radar. You can't be when you're picked third. I think it's Oklahoma right now. You're seeing a lot of predictions for them to be back in the college football playoff, to be a team that could maybe challenge at the very top. What do you think about the Sooners this season?
I think it depends on how much do you buy into John Mateer taking a leap, right? I mean, they obviously invested quite a bit to get him a year ago, hoping that, all right, the offense has been a bit of a challenge at times in the past. Can we get it over the hump? And especially toward the end of the season, it just did not feel like that team was particularly impressive. I think, when they were included in the playoff, which they, deserved to be, but when you look at some of the different metrics, it felt like they were one of the weaker teams. And then, of course, Bama was able to beat them in that first round game. So I'm always maybe slightly skeptical. Maybe I fall into that hive mind of being a little bit more skeptical of Oklahoma, just, somewhat based on that offense not necessarily looking amazing. Mm-hmm. It always looks good against Bama, minus that playoff game. But nationally, just felt like there were some issues there. But if Mateer can take that leap, knowing some of the other pieces they have coming back, it certainly should be a team that's very competitive. And I really think when you just look at the SEC as a whole, I just think teams are more bunched up than there have been in the past. I think it's been a recurring theme, the parity of the SEC. And I think we're potentially entering another season of that, where there's a lot of teams that have invested a lot of money: LSU, Texas A&M, mentioned Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Bama, and down the line. And I don't know that there's going to be a massive separation. Georgia, of course, massive separation between 1 and 5, right? And I think that's kind of what we've seen the last few years. Has been that trend where maybe it's just a 1-game difference between the top and a team that's going to be left out at number 6 in the SEC.
Kirk Cignetti, into the victor go the spoils. He can talk all he wants to because of how good his teams have been, but he took some shots at the SEC today. I'm cool with it, but on that theme, is there another Indiana possibly out there, or are we expecting everybody that has an actual chance at winning this thing?
I mean, it could be Indiana again, right? Just in terms of how there's still some skepticism about Indiana, even after everything that we've seen. I don't know that they're viewed at quite the same light as some of these other, programs, in part because we just don't think they've spent quite as much money on their rosters the way, again, Miami, Texas, LSU, Oregon, Ohio State, some of these others are a little bit higher tier in terms of what they've spent on their roster, for this year. But I do think there's a possibility that we'll see more teams. I think that, again, it's simple, but it also is important. Like, where does your QB rank? Can you win some games that maybe you aren't expected to or are very challenging because you picked the right QB? And clearly Indiana nailed it back-to-back years and who they got out of the portal. We'll see what Josh Hoover will do this year coming from TCU, but I know when I was up there in the spring talking to Signetti, they were pretty bullish about what he's going to be able to do, and that all that he was asked to do at TCU, of how often he passed, which of course led to a decent amount of turnovers. Like, they're going to be taking some of that off of him and a little bit more run heavy than what he was doing this past season at TCU, which I think will help him. But you think about Miami of Darian Mensah, they're certainly not coming out of nowhere, but that's the kind of big addition that can put you over the top. Those kind of programs that can consistently find the right guy out of the portal has been incredibly successful. We saw that the playoff teams there at the end a year ago. It's guys being led by portal QBs, and so I think Indiana is well positioned again with Hoover, but there are others as well, and I think it'll be pretty fascinating to see which of the high profile additions, Louisville for instance is one that I really like, that will be able to kind of break through the mold and crash into the playoff this year.
We know the coaches that are on the hot seat, guys like Mike Norvell, Beamer at South Carolina. I would say Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. I was talking about the stealth hot seat on the show the other day. A guy like Alabama, nobody is saying DeBoer's on the hot seat today, but if you hear what you just said, if they could be an 8-4 team and they miss the playoff, that seat is hot. Same with Texas with Sarkisian, that if they miss the playoff for a second year in a row with Arch Manning, the seat's going to be really hot. Are there other coaches like that, as we sit here in July, they're not on the hot seat, but they could be come November?
All it takes is one bad year. I think that's been one of the trends that we've seen, especially the last couple cycles. I mean, think about this time a year ago. I don't think we thought James Franklin was getting fired. I don't think we thought Brian Kelly was getting fired, right? And those guys both happened in season. And I think in part because we thought that the money was kind of a barrier to that, right? And so when you talk about Kalen DeBoer, the first thing that comes to my mind is that's an insane amount of money for them to have to move off of him, especially after just giving him a raise and extension this past cycle. So you would think, all right, he can't get fired, but I think we've seen there's no such thing as can't get fired. So Sark is a good one. I've been kind of beating that drum a little bit as well this offseason. That, remember a year ago, there were some reports about him maybe looking for an exit ramp to the NFL. Obviously, nothing materialized there. This is clearly an all-in, I think we overused the word or bust, but it does feel like a playoff or bust kind of season for Texas, that if he can't get it done with Arch, with the addition of guys like Cam Coleman, could see him potentially looking for an exit, whether, by his choice or not, given how much they've invested in him and his roster. So I like that one a lot. I've been kind of pointing out that one as well. I mean, I don't know that it's sneaky, but I just wrote a story today about the Mike Lombardi situation at UNC. What happens to Bill Belichick if they're terrible again this year, right? I mean, that's one that I would probably keep my eye on, that could see that, it's only been there a year, right? But I could see that one maybe getting weird, especially with how much they've invested in him and how it's just basically been a disaster from the jump. So that's one that I'm, kind of keeping a bit of an eye on. But there's certainly going to be a surprise somewhere. And I guess the last one, I think he's kind of been mentioned, but USC is interesting to me with Lincoln Riley, and I could see that being maybe the big domino that we see this year. You mentioned Florida State, that's obviously a great job. Wisconsin, pretty good job, but that doesn't create a massive domino effect. USC would be interesting is, if Lincoln Riley moves on or gets let go, the type of people that could be interested in that job and the kind of corroding effect down the line, that would be an interesting one that I would keep an eye on as well.
John, we've only got about 60 seconds left, and I really wanted to talk a little bit about your book. Would you mind sticking around through the commercial break so we can do that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to do that then, because John has got a book coming out. It's coming out this September. It's on everybody's favorite topic here in the state of Mississippi, Lane Kiffin. So I want to hear about that and the process and everything, just to get an early idea of what's going on. So John will stay with us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com, and we'll bring him back when we come back in just a minute. Sports Talk Mississippi, John Talty from CBS Sports. We'll get back to it in just a minute.
From the Venable Glass.
Check this out.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi back here with you on a Thursday afternoon. Brian Haydad, Michael Borky. John Talty is still on the Farm Bureau guest line. And, John, you've gone back to the well here. You've written 2 awesome books about college football. If you are a college football fan, I definitely suggest you check them both out. But this one feels like a real winner, I got to be honest with you. Lane being Lane, the story of Lane Kiffin, college football's agent of chaos. First off, a Dark Knight reference in there. I'm a big fan. I appreciate that. And, man, this feels like a book that I don't know if easy to write is a thing, but it feels like there's at least a lot of material to work with.
Yeah, I think that's right. Certainly a lot of material to work with. I think there's something about it that's very easy, and I think there's something about it that's very hard, because I think that he's someone who's been, well covered, I think, in the past, but also it's been, I'm trying to think how to put this, like, kind of well orchestrated, that coverage in some ways. And so I think trying to write about a guy who's been written a lot about, but maybe in a way that there was stuff left on the table. And so that gave me, I think, an opportunity to try to, dig deeper than maybe some of what we've seen in the past, which is no knock on, what anybody's done in the past. There's some great stories and, things about him that have been done, but you just try to go deeper. And that's, the ability that a book gives you, is that you can do more than what I can do in my day job at CBS Sports, with kind of what you can write in just one article.
How much were you surprised by what you found?
I don't know if surprise is the right word, but certainly the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the more you might find. And I think that was certainly the case with this one. There's a lot out there, and so some of it becomes trying to separate, fact from fiction. So that becomes, a big part of it, and being able to, trust information that you're getting from people, that it's accurate and fair and honest and all of those different things. But he's a fascinating guy, right? I think we all know that. And so I think trying to kind of get to the core of who he is and why he does the things he does, good and bad, was something that was really important to me, to try to, I don't understand him is the right word, but at least when you read the book, come away from with a greater understanding, at least, of who he is and kind of what motivates him, and some of the challenges that he has as a person and coach, and all those different things.
If this is in the book and you don't want to give it away, just say so. But what was something in your research that you found out it wasn't true, but man, you wish it had been?
I think I got to be careful with that one, right? I mean, there was a lot that you kind of, I compare it to like running out the ground ball, right? Like, there's a lot that you hear and you look into, right? And I think he, more than anyone else that I've ever covered or written about, has more kind of circling around him, right? That you have to try to determine whether that is real or not. And so there are plenty of things that, that I look into, and there are plenty of things that I think are honest, that are true, right? But I just didn't feel comfortable to the point where I could, put them in a book, right? I mean, I take that stuff pretty seriously, and obviously there's legal vetting and all that kind of stuff. But there's some, there's definitely some interesting, scuttlebutt and innuendos, as you guys probably know, about there, that, you try to see if there's something real to it or not.
So did you get to pick the release date for this, or is this just a really happy coincidence for you?
It's, that's out of my control ultimately, but you can have a say in it. And I think, I think you're looking for a funny answer there, but I'll give you a serious one too. That, like, you think about, all right, when do you want things to come out? And I've kind of done the, let's follow somebody for a year type thing, or let's really give it time to breathe. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is, like, it just doesn't hit the way it did in the moment. And my example of that is the last book I did really originated from the Jimbo versus Nick Saban, like, war of words, right? Like, and that was a huge story, as you guys know, for a couple months. And then, we spent a year following those guys. Like Saban retires, all this fascinating stuff happens. By the time the book comes out, I don't think anybody cared about it. Jimbo had already been fired. Saban retired. It's like nobody cares. And so for this one, he is, I think, the most fascinating guy, most polarizing guy in college sports. And so we did want to capitalize on that moment of let's not wait a year to see what happens at LSU. Let's really get this before then. And so that was kind of the date we were able to hit. And of course, it does add some extra intrigue, I think, to that week and that game.
Yeah. Lane being Lane, the story of Lane Kiffin, college football's agent of chaos. Release date, September 15th, 2026, the week of the LSU game. You can go ahead and pre-order it on Amazon. I suggest that you do. John, really appreciate your time today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
John joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Farm Bureau. When we come back, we've got, how many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 7 more bold predictions to make, Michael Borky. We got to get the rest of the SEC. And we'll tell you what we think about Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll start the 4 o'clock hour with you in just a minute.
You're hearing Sports Talk Mississippi.
What? This is so
Awesome on Super Talk Mississippi.
All right, we're back here on Sports Talk Mississippi. The weekend is nearly here, guys, and that means you're going to be outside doing the work. Make sure you're doing the work. Make sure it's not your yard working you. And you can do that with a trip to see our friends over at Ag Up. Doesn't matter what size yard we're talking about mowing, Ag Up has the right piece of machinery for you. And if you've got the big job to do, a John Deere compact tractor, probably the way to go. And they have great deals available right now. 0% financing on all 1 through 4 series models. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. Doesn't matter how big a piece of property you've got. Ag Up has the machine for you and your budget. So go see them today. There's 15 locations throughout the state. They're really easy to find. Or you can just go to agup.com. Ag Up and John Deere, built for what's next. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Michael Borky, what is your bold prediction for the Missouri Tigers?
By the end of the season, the administration there has a conversation about making a coaching change. Don't know if it'll happen.
See, they've had 3 good years in a row. He's built enough credit up to get a down one, doesn't he?
Not in this era.
I think everybody has enough credit to get one bad one.
He has not made the playoff yet, obviously.
And they would have made a 12-team.
They went 8-5 last year.
Yeah.
Would have made the 12-team playoff back in 2023 for sure.
Yeah, and they were 10. They went 11-2.
They went. They went 10-2, but we still would have made the playoff. They won the bowl game.
They won the bowl game. That's what I'm saying. They won 11-2. Yeah.
And then
beat Ohio State.
And then in 24 would have barely missed the playoff.
Yeah.
But 8-5 last year. What happens if 8-5 turns into 4-8? I don't think they do it necessarily, but they will have the discussion of.
I also think that the Hardy injury grants him a little grace. Like if Hardy misses 3 or 4 games and they lose, let's say Hardy misses the first 4 games and they lose to Kansas and Mississippi State. I mean, you have to take that into account.
I think so, but they're in Lawrence. They're in Starkville. Don't tell me that's going to be easy for them.
They have a tough schedule.
They're in Oxford. They're in Athens, and they still have to play Texas. They have to play Texas A&M. They have to play Oklahoma. They have to play Florida. It is brutal.
Brutal schedule. I think my bold prediction is that another bold prediction I had was wrong, and I think we're going to be looking at Austin Simmons and going, maybe he's not that great. A year ago, I was one of the drivers on the Simmons train, believe it or not. If you're just now listening, I was convinced he was going to be a superstar. I think maybe after the end of this year, we're like, I don't see it.
He's just got to protect the football, and if he can't,
I think the talent's there, but some quarterbacks just don't do that.
You are exactly right. Just don't do that. South Carolina.
I mean, is it a bold prediction? Beamer out.
Mine is Beamer doesn't see November.
There you go.
Halloween night, they're in Norman. That very well could be their 5th loss of the season or 6th loss of the season. If it goes that poorly, he's not seeing November.
So, if you look at my predictions, I have them starting 3-0 and then not winning again until November 14th.
Ooh.
That would be.
Oh. Could you imagine?
That's a tough.
Oh,
Like you beat Mississippi State, you're 3-0. You're like, all right, we're okay. We're going to be okay this year. We're going to be good. And then at Alabama, I have them losing to Kentucky. I have Kentucky getting a win there. At Florida, Tennessee, at Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and then they beat Arkansas to finish out the year. I do have them beating Clemson. I gave them that one, but yeah, I'm not real high on them. For Tennessee,
they're losing to Georgia Tech in week 2. I don't know how bold that is, but that's
I don't know
mine.
how bold that is. I have it written down. I do have them losing that game. So here, let me ask you this. So I made the comment that when Heupel stood up to Nico and said, we can't have this, you got to move on, I thought that would get him some credit in the bank. I don't feel like that it got him enough. So if they struggle this year and Tennessee fans are unhappy, could it be like Heupel just decides to go? Heupel to Florida State?
You can reset your clock somewhere.
If you're at Florida State and Josh Heupel says he's interested, you're picking up the phone. Heupel to North Carolina if Belichick falls on his face.
That would be an easy landing spot.
Yeah.
So they went 10-3 in 2024, but remember, they got embarrassed so badly by Ohio State.
It was bad.
That fans don't really love that season anyway. Mm-hmm. 8-5 last year, got smoked by Vanderbilt.
Yeah. I have them 7-5 this year.
He might get fired if that's the case.
I just don't. I think he shouldn't.
I agree, but
this should be Nico's 3rd year as a starter.
Should be.
And he's going to have to start a true freshman quarterback. So they could be good enough, but like I could see him saying, these fans, I took a stand, a principled stand, because that's what they said they wanted. The fans there did not want to renegotiate with Nico. They wanted him to move on. We moved him on, and now you're telling me that it's not good enough? And there's going to be other good jobs open? I might look at one of those. So there's my bold prediction. Heupel takes another job willingly.
Might be a lot of good options out there. Texas. I don't know how bold mine is, but they're everybody's darling to win the SEC and the national championship. Texas will miss the playoff.
Woo! Sark's out. Sark would be fired.
He would be out. And, this is supposed to be bold prediction day. I actually do think that Texas is going to miss the playoff.
No, I don't.
Barely.
My bold prediction is that Texas will win the national championship.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
They're super talented. They got
really
so
are.
much talent everywhere. Like Arch has just a embarrassment of riches with him on offense, and defensively they're so good up front. Colin Simmons is as good as it gets up there. Yeah, I think Texas wins the national title. Texas A&M.
They don't sniff the playoff.
I got that too. I'm with you on that.
They don't sniff it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to go. Who knows what LSU will be then, but I think really good. They got to go to Baton Rouge in week 4. They're in Tuscaloosa. They're in Norman. They obviously got to play Texas. There's a lot to like, and then there's a lot to not like about this A&M team. I don't think they're going to sniff it.
I say they'll have a sniff, but I have my bold prediction is they lose 3 of their final 5 games. So I'm going to have them 7-0. And then lose at Alabama, lose at Oklahoma, and lose to Texas. And once again, probably maybe, not Texas 8-4, but not in the playoff for sure. Vanderbilt. My bold prediction is it's just back to normal. 18% on the blue chip, and Pavia's gone. I'm not going to buy in. If they're a good team this year, then Clark Lee is going to get whatever job he wants. He'll take over for Sarkisian at Texas. At that point, if they have a 7 or 8 win team with this roster.
See, I think they'll take a step back, but not a big one. That's mine.
They're big step back. So who's your last place team then? You said that you don't think they take a big step back, and you said that Arkansas.
Auburn.
Now, that's what you should have led with. That's the bold prediction.
I think they're going to be so and I mean,
you realize you're saying right now that Auburn's at 3-9 or worse.
I mean, this is bold prediction day. If you made me right, I mean, my predicted order of finish in Tampa was Arkansas finishing last, but you got to go bold somewhere, right?
I mean, you're saying Auburn is 3-9 or worse because that's what last in the SEC is going to be.
I had Arkansas last. I had Auburn 15. I did not pick Mississippi State to finish 15th.
I had Auburn behind Mississippi State, but I don't think I had them 15th.
It's just
I got South Carolina 15th.
You're going to get a group of teams in the SEC this year that are all about the same record-wise. And, I mean, I'm talking the team that finishes 5th down to 14th in the league are going to have similar records.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you'll have a 9-3, and then there will be like a 7-5, of course, so they won't be identical. Mm-hmm. But there's just going to be a mashup of, these teams are all the same. Not good enough to go to the playoff, but they're good and they're talented and they're all kind of on the same plane.
Yeah.
But I think you've got more of that than you've ever had in the league before. Very little separation this year.
So, like in terms of separation from last season, why do you do that? I don't like the SEO on the SEC website. Anyway, you have your teams who made the playoff, right? You had A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma. All right, Texas and Vandy were right there with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were all Oklahoma, Texas, and Vandy were all 6-2 in the conference. But then you're right, like Missouri 4-4, Tennessee 4-4, LSU 3-5. Then you go 2-6, 2-6, 1-7, 1-7, 1-7. And of those 1-7 teams, State made a bowl. Say whatever you want, they did make a bowl. Auburn's a game under 500. They could have made a bowl. I mean, yeah, basically from. I mean, what was the difference between Missouri and South Carolina? How much difference were those teams really? Not a player or two. So yeah, I mean that the bottom half of the conference is going to has parity. The top half of the conference has parity too because Georgia can lose games. This is not 5 years ago, so you've got parity for sure.
Yeah, and I mean the difference very well could be, as Marty points out, the quarterback position.
Yeah.
If you don't have an established quality quarterback, man, you're just
Auburn has that, though. They think they do with Byron Brown. He knows the system. He's a good athlete.
I think he's fine.
All right.
I think he's fine. And Durkin's good. He should have taken a different job. He probably could have gotten a head job if he lobbied for one. But anyway, Sports Talk Mississippi. We'll be back.
Come on. Are we going to do this?
Back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk Mississippi.
We're back here on Sports Talk Mississippi. I'm Brian Haydad. He's Michael Borky. Borky, should we do a team today? What we want to do?
We'll do a team here in a little bit.
All right, because you didn't write it down again on the.
Gosh dang it!
I mean, I have no idea. It could be any team.
I had an emotion. I was emotional today. I was not myself.
You were emotional.
Yeah, first day of first grade.
I
hated it. We will go out west to the former Pac-12. That's what we'll do for team number 30.
Well, I think I guess I know who it is. Oh, no, I guess I don't know.
They, not last year, the year before, but they have recently been on a Mississippi State schedule for a home and home.
I know who they are.
You know who they are. Did you go?
No.
You went to Kansas State.
Went to Kansas State. That was the first year.
The Little Apple.
Yeah. I traveled with the team 2018, 2019. And then when COVID happened, we just stopped doing the travel, which my role changed on the show in that time period, too. So.
Yeah. A lot of role changes on this show, and we keep on plugging. You guys keep on listening, so we appreciate you.
Never mind role changes. A lot of personnel changes.
That, too.
I'm down to one. Only got one of y'all left.
Well, we finally got it right, is what happened. We finally got the correct formula.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What is is there a college town, don't say Athens or something,
I've
that
been to
you've been
Athens.
to
Yeah.
that you really liked, that people, like, it never shows up on the rankings or whatever, but you went and you were like, this is a great place.
You just said it. Manhattan, Kansas.
Really?
A complete SEC feel to it. Had the big area downtown with all the bars and restaurants, everybody walking around. The fans out there tailgating. It was an early game that I went to. I mean, everybody's wearing the school colors. There's purple everywhere. I felt a lot more like they were a lot more SEC than Missouri will ever be. Mm-hmm. But obviously not going to get in. But I didn't have big expectations for Manhattan. I forget what it's called. Aggieville, I think is what it's called, which is their
that doesn't make any sense, but that's okay.
I know that's their cotton district. That's their square or whatever you want to call it. That's their area. I thought it was great. Yeah, I thought it was good, really good. Great press box too. Give you beer after the game.
Really?
Yeah. If you're still up there working about an hour after game time, they come through with a trolley of cold beer.
Keith Carter.
I mean,
Zach Selman for Hey Dad, but I'm talking directly to Keith Carter right now.
Lamonis did it for us. Lamonis would always, the last game of the year, would buy lunch for everybody. So, like, instead of the catered lunch or whatever, he would go get, like, Two Brothers or something, and we would all have a meal. And then his first year, the SID came in. He was like, this was from Coach as well, and he had 2 cases of Bud Light, ice cold. I was like, let's go. So I sat there and worked on my work and cracked open a beer. It was great.
If Keith is not listening right now, he might have meetings or something. I don't know. There's a football season coming up, so the AD's kind of busy. But if somebody in the office or Keith Carter are listening right now, I hope you heard what Haydad just said about the Kansas State press box. I would like that for the media contingent in Oxford.
Well, I'm sure you would.
How do we make that happen? How do we make that happen?
Well, the first problem is that if there's any cold beer in that stadium, Ole Miss fans will sniff it out. They will find it.
They will find it.
So I don't know.
You got to hide it. You got to bring it in. It's the secret entrance or something
keep that
like
locked
that.
in. Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if there is like a secret, underground way to sneak something into a stadium.
Oh, I'm sure there is. There's stuff going on under the field. Yeah.
But I mean there's tunnels to the field, but I mean like truly under.
I'm sure there are, yeah. Because you've got I'm sure there's stuff down there like, I don't know. There's got to be something like in terms of the sprinkler system and everything. There's got to be.
There's got to be a way.
There's got to be a way, yeah.
I mean, even if it's just for me. So obviously, not living in Oxford, the home games to cover them from a work perspective are not as easily accessible to me being based here. But the plan is this year to be up there a lot more, considering there's now not a person on the show that lives in the area. Although, Richard, I know you're listening. He never went to press conferences or practices or anything anyway.
That's true.
But that is the tentative plan. So even if it's just for me, people up there at Ole Miss, put a beer underneath my seat or something.
I'm pretty sure we have to take care of everybody. We can't just allow one person.
No, that would be a really bad look.
People would not know how to handle that.
Although I would just show it to Michael Katz and open it right next to him and be like, hey, buddy.
He might drop you if you do that.
Oh, man. My vote, by the way, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I absolutely loved Chapel Hill. I think it is a really cool. I mean, it's been a few years since I've been, but the campus was beautiful. The town was cool and clean, and it kind of felt like a movie college town. You know how you watch movies and they move into college, and it's like that place doesn't exist. I think Chapel Hill kind of had that, cinema type college town campus feel to it. I really liked it there.
Very college towny, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and just a really nice, aesthetically pleasing place. I think they would fit in the SEC beautifully.
Let's go the other way now. What's the overrated college town?
Ooh, good one.
I won't say Oxford, because I don't think Oxford is. I think Oxford in and of itself is a great college town.
Oh, you're just...
Well, no, but I gotta say, but Ole Miss fans make it to be even more than that. That's what I would say. It's like you have some Ole Miss fans who are like, it's like Manhattan, Beverly Hills, and Paris rolled into one. It's not.
Poorly kept secret. Hey, Dad, every fan base thinks their town is awesome. Every fan base thinks
not
their
to the
town
level,
is awesome.
Not to the level that you get from when you have
Every
Ole Miss
base
fans saying
thinks-
Laquan Treadwell just fell in love with the square. That's why he came to school here.
Every fan base
not to the
does
same level.
That
it's not to the same level.
Literally,
it is
all
not to the
of
same
them.
level.
All
It's
of
not.
them.
It's
All
not.
of them.
It's not.
All of them.
What is your answer to my question, though?
I got to think on it for a second.
Mine's Gainesville.
Knoxville for me.
I had a good time in Knoxville.
I had fun.
Why did my voice crack? I had a good time in Knoxville when I went.
Market Square was it was okay. It was just really big, and when you get to that scale, it feels less like a college town to me. I prefer college towns where it's all kind of, right there. Like a true college town. Knoxville, and to their credit, I suppose, just the scale is too much for me. Nobody thinks this is a great college town. Columbus, Ohio was awful. It's a big capital city, and it feels nothing like a college at all. Nothing like it. Really, the in-game environment at Ohio State, unbelievable, 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Being around Columbus on game day, 2.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just awful.
I went to Gainesville, and look, State lost 52-0. But even on Friday night before the game was played, I was like, this town is way overrated. I had heard a lot of great things about it. It just isn't as great as people make it out to be, in my opinion. I haven't been back. Now, it's been a long time. Maybe it's gotten better. But I was surprised at what it was when I went to Gainesville. So that's probably my answer. I thought about another underrated one, or maybe not. Yeah, I guess underrated. You might make you mad, but I thought Columbia, South Carolina was awesome when
it's got a couple really cool areas.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So
it's also big, and the stadium being away from true campus hurts. The game day stuff there. But yeah, no, I mean 5 Points is cool. A lot of good bars. Campus is nice for a quote-unquote city school, even though Columbia is not, true big city. Love Lexington, Kentucky. Gainesville, I echo your sentiment.
Mm-hmm. Difference between a college town and a big city like Austin is an awesome place to go. It's not a college town in any way. Same with Nashville. Nashville,
Nashville's not a college town.
Nashville's not a college town in any way, shape, or form. So Lexington's really cool for a basketball game. I thought Lexington was. I didn't do the college thing. I was a grown man when I went to Lexington, but the bars and restaurants I went to were really nice. I enjoyed myself. I'm not a big bourbon person. So I think going to Lexington gives you that opportunity to go to all those distilleries. I'm also not a big horse racing person, so
that didn't do it for you.
No, it's just not. I mean, I'll watch the Kentucky Derby. That's about the end of that. So when will Ole Miss play Kentucky at Kentucky again? I assume it will be
2 years now, right?
Yes. Well, at minimum it's 2, but it could be 3.
Yeah.
Because they could start the series with Ole Miss, or Kentucky hosting, or Kentucky at Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss was in Lexington last, so maybe that factors into that. I don't know.
Yeah, they were there last year.
Yeah.
So,
I like Auburn. I had a really good host.
I have had great times at Auburn. Auburn is a fun town. Good people, good bar scene, good restaurants.
Did not like Tuscaloosa. I went a few times, and each time I left thinking
I've never gone out
back.
because state is so close. It's always just been a day trip. We never stay in Tuscaloosa, so I don't have a lot of experience staying there. So
we will switch gears, talk training camp. Big news out of Saints camp. In threes, really. You get the Brzee injury, and then you get the Taysom Hill retirement, and then you get the Olave contract extension. Big mega contract for the receiver. All that and more with John Sokolov when we come back.
Listen. Come on. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Check this out.
Are you ready? Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Now we're back here on Sports Talk Mississippi, and we'll go back to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. The King of New Orleans, John Sokoloff, WGNO, Johnny Sock. Oh, hey there, John.
Hello there, Brian. Always great to talk with you. It was awesome seeing you and Borky last week and in Florida at SEC Media Days. We had a lot of fun.
It absolutely was. And, of course, now you got to flip the coin here. You go from SEC and college football into pros as training camp gets started. And the big story of the day, obviously, Chris Olave, that deal is done. A big deal for the Saints wide receiver. This was always going to happen, John, but is it the Saints get it done on their schedule as much as Olave did?
Yeah, I can't really give you that much on the timeline. Clearly, there was a little bit of an impasse because they wanted this to get done by training camp, and, I mean, it happened a couple days in, even to the point where Olave wasn't participating in team drills. He was doing individual stuff just to make sure that everything was smooth on the negotiating side of things. But what I will say is this is a very good relationship that these two sides have. I mean, Olave loves New Orleans. He's always said that New Orleans is home and he wants to stay here. Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore have done nothing but rave about him. Everybody that Chris Olave has played for that I have spoken to loves him, because I talked to Brian Hartline even at, American Media Days. He coached him at Ohio State, said he's one of his all-time favorites. Kellen Moore loves him. Mickey Loomis loves him. The guy's the ultimate teammate. So I guess the impasse must have maybe been the guaranteed money or maybe the incentives in the deal and some of the language with that. That's what I would have to assume, because Mickey Loomis did say when we talked to him about it that Olave's injury history, all the concussions and all that, is a variable in the discussions. Now, having said that, we knew the deal was going to be somewhere around this number, because I looked back at previous deals, and his former teammate, Garrett Wilson, 1 year ago, had almost an identical season to Chris Olave, less touchdowns and a little less yards, but essentially the same numbers. He got 4 years, $130 million, $90 million guaranteed. Olave, 4 years, worth up to $132 and $90 million guaranteed. So I don't know, some of the fine print in here about are there going to be, some injury clauses in there or what? But either way, he got the bag that he deserves. And look, I know he has the injury history, but to me it feels like Olave had all the leverage here, because the Saints could not have afforded to not get this done, in my opinion.
For a while there, post-Breeze, Mickey Loomis was receiving a ton of criticism, and I think all of it was justified. It didn't feel like they had a true plan, and the team was just kind of floundering in mid, I guess would be the best way I could describe it. Lately, they've had a couple of really good drafts. They seemingly found a quarterback in the second round, which is incredibly rare. They've had a really good offseason when it comes to free agents. They get Cam Jordan back. Kamara doesn't go anywhere. Now you're locking up Olave. Mickey Loomis his Q rating has got to change dramatically now, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely has, man. I mean, the great draft last year, like you said, keeping Olave around, Kellen Moore taking that step forward, Kool-Aid McKinstry taking a step forward. I mean, you name it. We could talk about that forever. I mean, the stock in the Saints is rising, and we saw it kind of start to percolate last year at the end of the season when Tyler Shuck went 5-4 in his 9 starts at quarterback and then went on that winning streak near the end of the year. So, I mean, there's a ton of optimism down here, guys, and I've been at training camp every day, and I'll be at all the training camp practices, and there's a lot of buzz here, man. Like, this team, I think they're starting to know that they can be a solid team. Like, I really think they can win the NFC South, and Mickey Loomis deserves a ton of credit for everything. But, I mean, obviously, the main trump card here is Tyler Shuck. I mean, it looks like they've figured out the quarterback thing. Now, again, I don't want to crown him, QB1 and like an amazing quarterback in the league, but man, you have every right to be optimistic about Tyler Shuck if you're a Saints fan, based on how he performed last year, how he won those games, and just his attitude and his mentality, because people get worried about year 2 with these quarterbacks and, sophomore slump and whatever, maybe some of the success gets to their head. I can assure you, based on my conversations with Tyler, he is the same guy. I mean, in terms of the fact that he knows he hasn't done anything yet, and his head isn't too big, and he's got kind of that mentality of, hey, like, I need more. And so that's a good thing. I mean, I don't think the success has gotten to his head at all, and I think that he has the very hungry mentality, and all of his teammates just absolutely adore him.
I saw a tweet from one of your cohorts down there, Kat Terrell, who said that Chase Young had a really good interview with you guys today, and that they expect him to really step forward, not only from a production standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint this year. Do you see that happening for Chase Young? The Saints D-line took a big hit yesterday. Can Chase Young become a real star in this league like we thought he was going to be when he was drafted?
Well, look, man, I mean, Brian Brzee, that injury is tough, and also losing DeMario Davis, that leadership void is massive, right? And Chase Young is a guy that was just a game wrecker last year, man. I mean, you could say it was his best season as a pro. He missed the first 5 games with a calf injury, played the final 12, and had 10 sacks. And, I mean, the guy is just a force to be reckoned with, and he works unbelievably hard in the offseason. And, yeah, I was part of that today. We got to ask him a few questions, and he was a good guy in that regard. But, yeah, I mean, Chase Young is a stud. I mean, there's no way around it. And when you look at this deal that he has with them, I mean, it's a great contract. He's in the middle of a 3-year, $51 million deal. I mean, if he produces like this, it's great. And he was talking today about how much he loves Brandon Staley's scheme. And I did a whole story last year of how he's played in a scheme like this before entering the season, and he did really well in it. So that's why he was excited. Brandon Staley always gets the most out of these D linemen. So, yeah, I mean, I think he'll take on more of a leadership role, I would imagine. I mean, you know, he's always out there talking with guys, and I don't see too much in terms of, like, inside the locker room when no one else is around, but he's absolutely a guy that his teammates respect, that's for sure. And Chase Young's a guy, look, man, when you look at what he did at Ohio State, one of the most physically dominant edge rushers I've ever seen in years. I mean, that's why he was the number 2 pick. And unfortunately, between the ACL injury, the neck injury, I mean, his issues coming into the league, I mean, that was unfortunate for him. But now you really see him taking shape. And before the 2025 season, right after he got his deal done, he was telling us that he invested in one of those chambers, hyperbaric chambers, and spent like $40,000 on other stuff to kind of fix his body and help. Yeah. So he's all in.
Are you thinking about maybe you want to try out a float spa?
Yeah, that would be good. Saltwater float. Yeah, I mean, it's very therapeutic and good for the meditation aspect of things. So yeah, I mean, look, he should probably go float.
Taysom Hill going to be floating somewhere else after this season. Made an announcement yesterday, and you never really see a statement where they admit, I have no idea what I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to play football. I don't know what I'm going to do in an official statement, but, I mean, the franchise will miss him. What's your take on all of that?
Yeah, Borky, to be honest, from my perspective, from the reporter perspective, we spoke to Mickey in May. We asked him, us as in like the media, we asked him if he had a contract offer out to Taysom Hill. He said no. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case and we're in May and there's not even a deal offered, they're probably not bringing him back. And then the other day, right before training camp started, Mickey said that he had talked with Taysom, but he's just going to leave it at that. I was like, what does this even mean? Then the statement came out one day later. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. Once he said there was no offer in May, I just assumed that it was done. I'm like every other Saints fan out there and thinking, okay, he's probably going to play for Sean Payton, right? I mean, so who knows if that comes to fruition, but it's tough with Taysom, dude. I mean, he's going to be 36 in August. He tore his ACL in December of 24, and the way that guy trains and works and uses his body, I mean, there's a lot of wear and tear, and that's also a tough injury for an older guy. So I'm not sure if he's still going to play football or not. He's kind of working through his options, but yeah, it stinks. Like this era of the Saints, it's kind of like nearing its end, you know? I mean, between Taysom, Cam, and what's probably his final season, Alvin in the last year of his contract. I mean, his team is totally transitioning to, you know, this younger age. So I think this Taysom thing kind of symbolizes that. And also, I mean, it's tough. It's the end of an era. He's the ultimate, you know, Swiss Army knife, ultimate teammate, and, you know, just a great player for this franchise. I mean, I don't need to tell you that. This guy means so much to so many in New Orleans.
Got about 60 seconds left, John. What did you think of Jordan Tyson out there today?
He looked great, and I just posted a clip of his best clips from today. I mean, he caught a touchdown. He caught like a quick screen pass, and the fans were going berserk. You would think that they just won the Super Bowl. I mean, he clearly, his hamstring, they were being really careful with it in OTAs and in minicamp, and they were trying to ramp him up slowly, but now feels like they're really ramping him up. I mean, he's out there 11 on 11, 7 on 7, doing the individuals. I mean, he's doing everything, man, and he looks good. He's twitchy. He's as advertised, and if he stays healthy, watch out.
Sounds good to me. John Sokoloff, WGNO, down there in New Orleans. Appreciate you coming on with us, man.
Always, dude. Always. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and enjoy fall camp, as you love to refer to it as.
Hey, stop with that. You know better. You know better. See you, John.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
John joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. From the C Spire text line right here. Man, I'm loving it. First time I felt pumped for football season as a Saints fan in what feels like a long time. Great interview. Got my blood pumping. I think that
so ready.
And if you have it in the rundown. I don't know how much we'll talk about it, but Buccaneers with Baker Mayfield, Falcons having all sorts of issues. Panthers have had a couple of key injuries in camp. Things are in motion right now. We'll see. We'll be back in just a minute on Sports Talk Mississippi.
Let the broadcasting of the disturbed continue.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
So to stay with the theme of today, Michael Borky, what's your bold take for the Saints?
Oh, gosh, what would be bold? I mean, I think they'll win the division, host a playoff game.
They get a first-round bye?
Ooh, that would be bold. No, because that would be finishing first in the NFC.
Well, you'd have to be first in the NFC. You'd be second.
Not anymore.
The second season? What?
Not anymore when they added that third playoff game. Or the extra wild card game, no.
Oh.
That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only one.
You can tell
now.
I don't keep up with the playoffs as tightly because the Saints haven't been in it. So,
let me fact check myself.
I don't think they're the. That doesn't seem right. Like, doesn't 3 play 1 and then 4 and then the 1 and the 2s?
Yes, only the number 1 seed in each conference gets a bye.
Okay. Yeah. And then I would agree. They're not going to get the first round bye because there's just too many good teams in the NFC. Win a playoff game?
Yeah. I mean,
they'll host a playoff. Well, if they win the division, they'll host one. Yeah, playing in the Superdome, it's tough. It's tough to win there. I know the Vikings did it once, but that's it.
I've been looking at the schedule, trying to figure out, because some friends and I want to do a adults only trip, and then also want to do one with children involved as well, right? So you can go down and go party the night before and have a good time,
right,
with your friends, and then the next time a little bit more family friendly, go to the zoo, that kind of thing.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I'm thinking Cleveland after the bye week on Sunday, November 8th, might be the game to go to in terms of being cost effective.
Yeah,
I mean, first home game, no shot. The next home game is the Falcons. Maybe week 5 against Minnesota, but then they have Pittsburgh, so no shot. I mean, that because those people travel like crazy, that ticket price will be nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay will be a really high price. Those people travel as well. Maybe Arizona on December 27th. Those are that's what we got to look at. It used to be just pick any game on the schedule you could get in for $20.
Yeah.
Now we're back on the. You got to look at the cost.
You got to win, yeah. Or you got to have a friend.
You got to have a friend. You can still get into the season opener for $65. That's your getting the door price.
That's a good price. Even the bad seats in the Superdome, they're not the worst.
You're in there having fun.
Yeah. You're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like, you have a bad seat in Cleveland, especially like in November or December. You're like, why did I do this? You got a bad seat in New Orleans. You're in a air conditioned or heated dome. And then when you walk outside, you're in New Orleans. It's not possible to have a bad time.
No.
It is, but you have to be a terrible person.
When you put it that way.
Yeah. Or a Falcons fan. One of the two.
Did you see, we don't need to spend too much time on this, did you see the WNBA's official Twitter account posted a video of Paige Beckers and Angel Reese exchanging money after a bet that they had on the All-Star game?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I didn't see the tweet. I saw that it happened.
They posted a video of money changing hands and talking about the bet they placed on the All-Star game. And then there's actually video of Caitlin Clark talking about, I guess it was last year's All-Star game or maybe the 2024 one. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But her talking about settling bets after the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. Those two players openly talking about bets. And Angel Reese in a press conference, she said, I'm going to get my money on Apple Pay. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on Apple Pay. No suspensions, nothing.
Well, you can't suspend those two. Those two are your biggest stars. By the way, this is Larry from Mize WNBA Minute. He was asking about this the other day.
You've got to do something if your players, even if it's a joke, they claimed it was a joke.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, I mean,
NBA players are going to jail for having money.
I feel bad.
On
like
games.
It's an all-star game, and it's like, hey, my team won, and we bet $20 or whatever.
It was $400 is what they exchanged.
That's not that big a deal. It really feels. It's one of those things that it feels like it shouldn't be a big deal, but that's a slippery. That is as slippery a slope as we're going to get.
That social media manager is updating their LinkedIn today. Let's go ahead and.
Hey, buddy, guess what? You're fired.
I can't believe that. Knowing what I mean. Look, if you work in sports, you need to at least be aware of what's going on in other sports. Like, whoever's running the WNBA's league account should be aware of Brendan Sorsby. Mm-hmm. Should be aware of, name your player from the NBA that's wrapped up in their scandal right now. You should know that gambling jokes, money changing hands with two players on video and posting them on your official accounts, probably, out of bounds. Mm-hmm. Maybe you shouldn't do that, all things considered.
Maybe you shouldn't.
When we come back after the news, Kirk Cignetti had something to say. We'll play that, and then the Big Ten picked their order of finish. Now, we won't spend too much time on that, but there is one selection for a soon-to-be opponent of Mississippi State. Does their selection, what does that make you think about the game? We've been talking a lot about Ole Miss Louisville. Mississippi State does not open with Minnesota, but media not really high on them. What do you think about that game? What does that game mean? Pressure, expectations, etc. We'll do all that after the news.
Here we go. Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
Well, I guess when you win a national title, you can say whatever you want. And that's exactly what Kirk Cignetti has done. So let's talk about it right now on the College Football Fix. The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's the best-selling truck in America, the Ford F-150. And it has been that way for nearly 50 years. If you're looking to buy a new truck right now, there's only one place to go. There's only one people to know. There's only one person to see. That's your local Mississippi Ford dealers. Today, thank you for your attention to this matter.
We'll do a two-parter around Big Ten Media Days. One directly involves Mississippi State. The other is just a big picture thing because Kirk Cignetti, you guys know Kirk Cignetti, the national championship winning head coach at Indiana. He took one of the worst programs historically in the country and made them a national champion in 2 seasons. He is special. Remember, he took the microphone and said, "I win, just Google me." in his introductory press conference. He is a cocky son of a gun, but man, he backs it up with wins. He had something to say at the end of his press conference today. Here is what he said about the SEC.
It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. All right? And that's why we're the best. Coaching anything.
Now, hold on. You just did that thing that a lot of people do with politicians. He never actually says the word SEC, so you're
but
just,
he is talking about the SEC.
Well, you are inferring that.
He was asked about the SEC specifically, and that was part of his answer.
Okay.
So he is absolutely talking about the SEC, yes.
All right.
I mean, we can use logic on this show sometimes.
I don't like logic.
But, people are like, oh, Cignetti said this. Can you believe it? Yeah, he won.
Yeah. I Googled him. He did, in fact, win.
Brett Bielema talking is laughable to me because he went to the SEC and couldn't win in the SEC. So I dismiss that. You got to go win first. Right. This dude won. And, it dominated Alabama. He's dominating the sport right now. If he wants to take shots at the SEC, by all means, go ahead. Because you're backing it up on the actual football field.
Yeah.
No problems here at all.
You can't disagree. How can you disagree? Winners get to talk smack. That's one of the beauties of being the winner. Is you can say what you want.
Yep.
So yeah, if the SEC has a problem with what he just said, do something about it. Knock that guy off the pedestal. Yeah.
When your team lines up across his in the playoff this year, go beat him. They do have a pretty pathetic non-conference schedule, but, they're proving it in the playoffs, so you can't really take that away from them. But let's bring this back local. So the Big Ten releases their predicted order of finish. They have 18 teams in the Big Ten.
Too many, by the way.
Could you imagine being picked 18th in an 18-team league? Ugh. 12 is easier to stomach than 18. That's just a hard number.
It just feels worse, right?
Yeah. Ohio State picked to finish first, win the league. Oregon second, Indiana third. There's a little chip on your shoulder for Kirk
He'll
Cignetti.
take some of that, yeah.
USC 4, Michigan 5, Penn State 6, Washington 7, Iowa 8, Illinois 9, Minnesota 10. Picked to finish 10th in the Big Ten this year. So let's stop there. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I said very bluntly, Ole Miss fans talking about week 3 and everybody at media days, Ole Miss going to be 2-0 going into that game. I think they will be. They're going to be favored to be, but if Louisville is not taken seriously by that team, they will lose that game. How would you categorize Minnesota for Mississippi State? It's a team that they won 8 games last year, but they didn't beat anybody good at all. It is on the road.
Yeah.
And you do get a warm-up game before that one with ULM. With all due respect, ULM is a warm-up game, even for a team that's coming off of 7 wins in 2 years. It is.
Yeah. Just for the record, real quick, looking at last year's Big Ten standings, the 10th place team was Nebraska, who went 7-6. So, still a decent bowl kind of team. Mississippi State last year lost to a 4-8 Florida team on the road. Not a good team. Now, I think the environment at Florida, if you remember that game, by the way, Borky, very toxic environment. The fans were booing. They wanted Napier gone. They were chanting for him to leave, and State still couldn't find a way to win that game. They gave it away there in the final moments. So I take nothing for granted. Athletically, State should be much better than this team, right? There's nobody like Kamario Taylor on the Minnesota roster, but they do have a stud defensive end in Anthony Smith. He is the preseason Big Ten defensive player of the year. He is an outstanding pass rusher, and that is State's issue going into the season that we don't know about, that we don't know about what they're going to have out there on the edge with the tackle position. So when you ask me what I think of this game, it's the most important game of the season for Mississippi State. If Lebby loses that game, it's over. It's over for him. There's no way you're going to convince me he's going to come back from that. Whereas if he wins it, well, then you get to move on to the next one. And it's kind of like it's kind of like a game on The Price is Right, right? Like if you lose the first, if you miss, the game's over. But if you win, you get to go to the next round, and that's what this is for Jeff Lebby. It is a survival mode kind of thing, and he can't lose to Minnesota. So it is as important a game as Mississippi State as Jeff Lebby will ever have at Mississippi State.
Minnesota returning their quarterback, running back, and 4 starters on the offensive line. If I understand it correctly, only their right tackle will be new on that offensive line. So some experience for the Gophers as well. You mentioned that defensive lineman, 12.5 sacks last season.
Really good. Would have been a first-round pick.
And it's consistent, too, in his play. It's not like he feasted on Indiana State and then disappeared against good teams. No, right. Man, he was good every week.
All year long. Yeah, he's a good football player. So Minnesota 8th last year in the Big Ten, in case you were wondering. 5-0 at home in the conference, 0-4 away from home. 7-0 at home in the year, and 5-0 away. They did win the neutral site game. I guess that was their bowl game. But at home, they were a good team last year. Now, you mentioned it. Their schedule will just, I don't even know if left a lot to be desired is the right word for that. It was not good. They did not beat a lot. They don't have a win that makes you just shake your head and go, wow, that's a great win for them. Minnesota's wins last year: Buffalo, Northwestern State, Rutgers, Purdue, Nebraska, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and New Mexico. Their best win of the year?
Nebraska.
New Mexico. New Mexico was 9-4. If you're talking about power games, yes, it's Nebraska who finished 7-6. They lost to Cal 7-6. Ohio State, we all know they were good. Iowa, they lost to Iowa 41-3. Oregon 42-13. They lost to Northwestern 38-35. All of their losses on the road. So at home, they're a good team. And here's the thing, like, State's not a great team. It's not like I cannot just sit there and say, check mark. That's a win.
Yeah.
I got to see it in action. I got to see it in practice. So I think State can win this game. I would predict State to win this game as we sit here today. But would I predict State to just go up there and win 44-0? No. Nothing like that. I think it'll be a close game.
What do you think Kamario Taylor's first road start means in this one?
If it was in Tiger Stadium or even like the next week at Willie B, I would be more concerned. But he played in the.
It'll still be packed. It's only 50,000.
He will, but he played in the game at Arkansas. He played in the game at Florida, so he's gotten a taste of the hostile road environment. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. And
if he can't handle that, he certainly can't handle a week later.
Yeah,
so.
well, like I said, you get the idea. This Mississippi State team, there's no way we don't know what they are by the end of week 3 at the absolute latest.
It's incredible how that schedule is shaped up, but it is nice. It's a really good thing. Again, with all due respect to the Warhawks, I feel like I'm picking on you, but you do get a warm-up game ahead of that.
You do, but I feel like, and I've said this, I told Lebby this on a week ago today. I said, I think that you can learn a lot about State in that first game. Because you watch the first game 2 years ago, they could not run the football on Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
They could not rush the passer against Eastern Kentucky. Last year, they were better running the football. They were better rushing the passer, but they still weren't great in that game. And they certainly weren't great protecting Blake Shapen against Southern Mississippi a year ago. If you can't protect your quarterback against ULM, if you can't run the football on ULM.
And it's got to be perfect. You have to have basically perfect protection all day. I'm
just saying, the over/under on sacks better not be more than 2. I'll allow 2, but at more than 2, I'm like, they didn't fix this. They're in real trouble. And the rushing yards, they need to be well over 200 rushing yards in that game.
Minnesota opens with Eastern Illinois for whatever that's worth, but they're not working in a brand new quarterback. So, anyway. College Football Fix, driven by Ford and your local Mississippi Ford dealer. Let's stay, I know Minnesota's not necessarily out west, but let's go a little bit further west and a little bit south for the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days.
Here comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Somebody says ULM is having financial troubles. They're cutting lots of areas in athletics and band. If State doesn't whip them, then there's a problem. Now, some coaches are afforded like a stinker win against a nobody opponent because Levy's not.
And look, last year Southern Miss was a good Sun Belt football team, and State won that game pretty easily. Southern had a moment there in the second quarter where they made it interesting, but State pulled away and was cruising by the end of the game. ULM is a worse team. If State needs to win this game and win it easily. If you said what's the most points State could give up, 14. They give up more than 14 points. I'm looking around. The final score of this game is like 42-21. I'm like, it's not good. It's not good.
They are incentivized to dominate this game.
31. If it's there's the other side of that. It's like if its final score is like 27-7, not good. Not good. So they need to dominate this game. Yeah.
Let's go out west. Team number 30 on the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days.
This day is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. This day is bananas.
100 teams in 100 days.
Touchdown.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Team number 30, that's right. Tomorrow we will be at 29. And I know what some of you might be thinking. Wait, didn't Ole Miss share the graphic of Chucky Mullins today saying 38 days away from kickoff? Yeah, we're doing week 0 for the countdown. Week 1, we just got too much stuff to talk about. So we're counting down to week 0. Big games that day as well. Again, tomorrow we'll be on 29. Today, we go to Arizona for team number 30. Wildcats of Arizona. They play at Casino del Sol Stadium. Casino del Sol Stadium rolls right off the tongue when you say it. I mean, just picture Brent Musburger. You are looking live at Casino del Sol Stadium. You can do a really fun one with the in-conference rival Texas Tech because they have approximately 1 billion names on their stadium.
Yeah.
Not so much here, just one sponsor. 50,782 seats exactly for Casino del Sol Stadium. And Brent Brennan enters year 3 as head coach. Remember, when Jed Fish left to take the Washington job, Arizona had obviously a search, but it ended kind of odd. They hire Brent Brennan from San Jose State, and at his best season, he was there for 7 years, was 7-5. And COVID, they went 7-1, but that's the COVID year, only played conference opponents, et cetera, et cetera. He went 38-4-48. And then got a power coaching job. And ultimately, at least it seems, it has paid off. Now, year 1, they had major expectations for him. They kept the roster together. They spent a lot of money. They had the quarterback figured out, all good.
Yeah. And
they rolled out a 4-8. He entered last season firmly on a hot seat. His buyout was only $10 million, and Arizona was prepared to pay it if there wasn't a massive jump forward. They were able to somehow keep their quarterback intact. Noah Fafita.
One really good quarterback.
He's really good. He
really
had a good year last year as well, but he was able somehow to talk him into staying at Arizona, and it worked out. Last season, they were much better. They went 9-4. Here's how it shook out. They beat Hawaii and Weber State, not Weber State, Weber State, named the mascot.
I can see Harold Arsenault, the basketball player. I can't remember the name.
The Wildcats of Weber State. And then they beat Kansas State before an off week. They lost to Iowa State, but bounced back with a win over Oklahoma State. They lost to BYU in double overtime, which was a crushing loss for them at the time because a lot of people at the time thought a win over BYU, and you're talking about Big 12 championship, go to the playoff. They ended up losing that game, and then they lost at Houston by a field goal a week later. And for the rest of the regular season, they did nothing but win. They won at Colorado 52-17. Remember when Colorado was a thing that people talked about?
Mm-hmm.
Then they beat Kansas and Cincinnati and Baylor, and then they won their rivalry game at Arizona State. 23-7 was the final score in that one. They did lose their bowl game. Do you know the sponsor of the Holiday Bowl?
It used to be the Travelers.
And then Pacific Life.
Pacific Life, yeah, the whale. I remember the commercials.
The whale.
I don't know it.
The Trust and Will Holiday Bowl.
Just want to picture Gus Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, Washington State, Iowa, the Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. Have you got your trust and will in order? If you die tomorrow, who's going to get it? Someone you don't like? Oh!
Nailed it. I mean, just nailed it. That's what happened there.
I got a little head cold this week, and that was not a good idea. But anyway, I had to do it.
They opened the season with Northern Arizona. You know what I'm about to ask you.
Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona.
Ben Howland coached there. He was phenomenal.
Then they go to BYU in week 2 before hosting Northern Illinois and going to Washington State. Then it's conference play for the rest of the season. Cincinnati at West Virginia, off week. Iowa State at Texas Tech. They host TCU and Utah before ending the season at Kansas State and then hosting Arizona State in a rivalry that is known as
the Territorial Cup.
Territorial Cup.
I never figured out why Arizona, their turnover thing was a trident when their rival's mascot has a trident. Never understood that. But that's what it is. It's a trident. Brick killed a guy with a trident.
Yeah, you think maybe it's like we stole this from them just like we stole the football?
It's possibly. I guess. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of that. So, we're going. I'm excited. I'm going to try out another impression here. You may not get it, but I'm going to try it out here. But we're going to the Baja Cafe. I can't really do Jesse Ventura. I have a place down in the Baja with about 30 dogs. I can't do Ventura. This is a very typical diner. It's known as the home of the Snickerdoodle pancake. I like Snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodle pancake with a vanilla bean cream cheese glaze. Sure. They've got a bunch of great looking pancakes. It's only open till 2. This is a breakfast and lunch spot. I'm going to try to interest you in the King Kong, Michael Borky. Crisp hash browns topped with ham, sausage, 2 slices of bacon, American cheese, more hash browns, 2 strips of jalapeno bacon, pulled pork, diced green chilies, and 2 eggs, cooked any style, finished with our smoked Gouda cheese sauce.
Ooh.
I'm just going to tell you right now, you eat that, you're not eating lunch. Lunch is not a problem for you if you eat the King Kong here. All sorts of great Mexican options, as you might can guess. And when you get into lunch, tacos. They only have 2 kinds of tacos, which is kind of surprising. That leads me to believe they're really, really good, right? If a place called Cafe Baja or Baja Cafe in Tucson, Arizona, only offers 2 kinds of tacos, there's no way they're not good, right? They have to be elite.
Have to be.
So, yeah. But the breakfast options at this place, the Wolverine, it's a Benedict, toasted English muffin, topped with a smoked chili cream cheese sauce, fire-roasted green chilies, jalapeno bacon, 2 poached eggs, smothered with avocado. It's an avocado and tomatillo holiday sauce, finished with pico de gallo, cotija cheese, and pickled onions. Smoked. Are you a tater tot guy?
I liked him, yes.
Okay, I thought you might have been a big tater tot. I mean, some of these options are fantastic sounding. So, if it's early in the morning and you're in Tucson, Arizona, and you want a breakfast that's really going to stick to your ribs all day, you want to get that day off to a great start, go see the good folks at Baja Cafe and tell them that Borky and Haydad sent you. This place looks...
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. It sounds
awesome.
Pretty good. Smoked brisket enchiladas. Yeah. Pulled pork rancheros.
The only problem I have with things like brisket tacos is often when you got to go to the right places. Often when you order it, they clearly cook it in a pressure cooker or something, and it's just
not. This says smoked brisket machaca, which is a kind of brisket, creamy rajas, which I believe is a pepper, Melted cheddar and jack cheese, placed on a flour tortilla with pico de gallo, cotija cheese, pickled onions, served with fresh salsa verde and chipotle aioli, which is, of course, fancy mayonnaise. But still.
That does sound great.
Sounds good. Baja Cafe, go check it out. Next time you're out in the Arizona area.
Out in the Arizona area.
Yeah.
Big old place, that Arizona area.
It's quite a large place.
Sports Talk Mississippi. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a little bit. We are inching closer and closer to the end of the last week without football on your TV. This is the last week without it. Next week, training camp in Mississippi begins. The Hall of Fame game is here. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a bit.
Listen.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself.
More Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. A suggestion on the text line to go see the Odyssey if we haven't. I will at some point. I'm big into that kind of stuff. I'll go see it.
I was thinking about doing it this weekend, but we'll see.
I saw a video that the dolphins that appear in the water.
Total coincidence.
Total coincidence. How cool was that?
That's really cool. Also on the C Spire text line, I asked a guy I work with who lives in Tucson if Baja Cafe was good. He said it was blanking awesome. Good pick, hey, Dad. I mean, it's TripAdvisor, but I went with what they said. It does. It sounds fantastic. That really King Kong breakfast, man. I'm gonna be thinking about that the rest of the day.
Ooh, I have an idea. It'll take a lot of extra work, but I have an idea.
Make it.
We create a guide. We get in touch with people that cover every SEC team and make a
road
trip guide.
We're beaten to the punch on this. Andy Staples did it a few years ago.
But we can do one too.
He did. Well, I mean, we could. The difference is he had eaten at all of the restaurants on the list.
But that's why we use recommendations from people that live in the places.
Yeah, I like it. It's not bad.
Is there anything that you did this off season that when it comes to maybe I don't know how much of a reader you are. I want to be. I'm not. I wish I read more books. Not.
I didn't read anything.
I read news every day. I wish I read less of it, to be honest with you. But a show or anything that you picked up, a hobby or anything this off season that you did.
I started a Gus Johnson impression.
You nailed that. I mean that worked.
Did I pick up a show? I watched Stranger Things, but that was just I needed at that point. It was just I've invested so much time into this. I got to finish it up. No, I mean that's the thing, man. Like I am so old. I just kind of get through. Like I have my routines and I don't really deviate from them that much. You would have to really get my attention. I wanted to watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I heard it was really good, but I have just the end of Game of Thrones broke me so bad. I can't get into House of the Dragon. So, but people told me The Night of the Seven Kingdoms was really good. I need to check it out. So that might be on the list for me. Other than that, no, not really. I'm a very boring person, Michael Borky. I'm a 50-year-old man who's been married for 25 years and father of two. What do you want at this point? I got nothing left to give. I got very little.
You can buy
juice.
a motorcycle.
Huh?
I could buy.
No.
I started traveling.
It's funny you bring that up. A friend of mine did that, and it didn't go too well for him. So, no. I made this comment.
You get one of those three-wheeler motorcycles.
When you okay. I feel like when you reach a certain age, you just are what you are. It's too late to add hobbies at this point. Like I don't
want to go kayaking?
God, no. No. I feel like I'm going to answer this question like the way in Office Space. Like, no, hell no, no. I don't want to go kayaking. I don't think he said hell. But
no, he didn't. But
yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm not. I'm not a hiker. I'm not a. I don't mind going to see cool stuff, but I would not want to go on a hike. I would love to see mountains.
Yeah.
but I don't want to hike mountains or canyons or anything like that.
You got to take a helicopter up there or something. Do you see where LeBron's going to helicopter into practice from New York every day?
Hey, he's not living in Philly. He's living,
That's insane.
Well, he's got the money to do it.
I mean, if you got the money.
That's one of those things, though, I wonder if he's paying for it. I wonder if that was part of the demands. Like, we'll sign with Philly, but you got to provide this.
I don't think you can in the NBA.
You can't have
I don't think you can give like special accommodations like that. I think it would a player would
Could
have
he
to
have found
pay
a
for
company who was like willing to do it?
Yeah, that's what you have to do.
And but you have to make sure there's like no salary involved, otherwise you have the aspiration thing, which apparently is going to last another year. So
yeah. All I did was pick up a goofy show called, I think I've mentioned it before, Supernatural. I'm almost at the end of season 5 of 15, I think. Chasing around Sam and Dean Winchester and all the hijinks they get into. It is so cheesy. Mm-hmm. And the cast, though, is pretty
watch
nuts.
like three or four episodes on the flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And also that helped distract me from the fact that I was 30,000 feet in the air. I appreciated that. Because, I don't know how. We also watched the World Cup on the flight, too.
We did. That was fun watching. We were poor guy sitting next to me wearing an Argentina shirt as his team went out. That had to be tough. But, yeah, that was fun.
Somebody says, gardening seems lame, but it's a fun hobby. No, brother, it is not lame at all. What I want to, I have 2 goals. I don't think it'll happen at this house. We'll have to move. I want every plant that Augusta National names a hole after. I think I've got 7 right now. I won't be able to bring all of them with me. I think I have 7 or 8. But I want all 18. And then I want a bunch of fruit or like edible food growing trees. So like a pecan tree, because that's not I guess that's not a fruit, right?
Well, like a yuzu tree.
I've got 2 apple trees and a lemon tree right now.
Okay.
But I want orange and all. I've got a neighbor that actually.
think you can grow oranges in Mississippi.
I've got a neighbor that grows bananas. They hack them down to the very bottom when winter comes, and they come back every year. Bananas,
That's crazy.
Do. It's wild.
I thought you couldn't grow bananas in this country. I didn't know that.
Apparently they do.
I learned something today. So yeah, I mean, my hobbies are very limited. I like to cook. That's about it.
That's what you do. Hey, Dad, you get an herb garden where simple stuff.
No, I'm not doing anything out of my backyard. My backyard is a train wreck. I need a landscaper. I got to get out there and they got to do a lot of work.
All you need is a raised thing.
You can just buy herbs at the store. It's not that big a deal.
You can, but growing them's more satisfactory.
I don't use a ton of fresh herbs anyway. Like occasionally when I make pasta, there's a little basil in there. Yeah, but that's about it.
How often do you cook steaks, though? Because rosemary's a game changer on steak.
You can just buy rosemary at the store.
Yeah, but getting to go out in the yard and cut it myself is, I enjoy that
I don't
experience.
just use rosemary. You take a pot, put in a stick of butter, whatever. If you've got any trimmings off the steak, a little beef fat, or if you just got some beef tallow, which I do, let that cook down. Throw in some garlic, throw in a bundle of rosemary. I get the roasting herb bundle. It's rosemary, thyme, sage.
You can grow all of that in your backyard right now.
But I could just spend $3 and it's in my hand. And you brush that on your steaks as they cook.
You're not thinking economically, because instead of $3, you can spend $30 one time.
You could.
And after 10 of the herb bundles, it pays for itself.
I guess.
And the maintenance on those, especially rosemary, is nothing.
Doesn't interest me.
I haven't done anything special to my rosemary plant. It is thriving. I do not. I cut it when I want to take stuff off of it.
I know what kind of herb garden you've got.
Hey-o. Now, Mayor Mary will have me sent to Guantanamo if she catches me doing that.
Or Mayor Mary wanna.
I don't know if this story is true or not. One of my neighbors told me that the lore of the neighborhood, this was like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, that there was somebody in my neighborhood that was growing a specific type of herb in their attic. And to do that, you have to have heat lamps and grow lights and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it snowed. And their roof was the only roof that didn't have snow on it. And so authorities knocked on the door and was like, hey, what's going on up there? And that's how they got busted, because it snowed.
That's funny.
And their roof was too hot for the snow to sit on it.
I'm cooking steaks. Just so much radiant heat off the cast iron.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but I'm just going to believe it's true forever.
There you go.
Somebody says, but that takes time, THYME.
I get it. That's funny. That's a good point.
But
yeah. Hey, that's like me. My hobbies are cooking, eating, and drinking. Yeah, what else does a man need? And then watching sports.
Somebody asked, how do you apply rosemary to the steaks? You can do it two different ways. So you can use it as, what do they call it, an aromatic, where when you're doing the basting, you place. I use like 3. I mean, I really like cut some rosemary and put it on top of the steak, and then baste the butter and let it drip on the rosemary. And
yes,
I like to dry it out and chop it up really thinly, and
you go another step and
mix it into a butter and use that as a
butter.
topper.
You got a little pan of butter, is what you're saying right there. You got it in a pot and cook it on the stove. Just dump a stick of rosemary and use that as the brush.
Ooh, I haven't tried that yet.
Something you can do.
It's a good idea.
So I create a mop basically for steak. It's not a mop in that you're constantly, but like I said, I get a pot, put like a half cup of beef tallow with a stick of butter, some garlic cloves, some salt and pepper, some roasting herbs, and just let that melt down. And as you cook your steak, once you flip the steak and you're ready to throw the butter in, throw that in instead of just like regular butter, and you just baste with that, and it adds a lot of flavor. Especially since I'm a salt and pepper only guy on steaks now. So
yeah, I am too. I don't think that I've ever had or put anything on a steak that makes it any better than that. Though.
I've put other stuff on steaks, and look, I'm sure other places do that, and I've enjoyed steaks elsewhere. The place we went to down in Tampa, they said they seasoned it. Well, they seasoned it with a lot of seasonings, they said. Yeah. And I thought those steaks were great, but just for me, salt and pepper gets the job done. It's chicken taco night tonight, though. We're doing chicken tacos.
Nice.
A little rice, a little corn. It'll be good.
Hard to beat that.
It is.
We'll be back in just a minute.
From the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
So we now know where Jordan Rodgers is headed. Remember, he was taken off the...
We're going to talk about this and not the fact that we're apparently getting some free tallow.
Oh, well, I was going to wait till it arrived before we gave the plug.
I mean,
Go
thanks.
for it.
Thanks.
Go for it.
Our friends here at Lady May Tallow are sending us some tallow. I got my care package while we were gone from Smokehouse Bayou beef jerky.
Oh, me too. It was amazing.
So they gave us like 6 kinds of beef jerky. Did you get the other stuff?
Get
some rub and some sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I love the barbecue sauce, but the white sauce I put on a cheeseburger.
It's good.
I loved it.
All right. So shout out to Smokehouse Barbecue and shout out to Lady May Tallow. This is skincare. I don't want any skincare tallow. I want cooking tallow.
They got it all.
I'm not rubbing. The only time I rub beef fat on my face is when I'm like doing this after a steak. Like that's the only time.
So Jordan Rodgers is done with the SEC Saturday night. Chase Daniel is taking over for him on SEC Nation as well. But we now know that Jordan will be calling Friday night college football games alongside Mike Monaco. You guys might be familiar with him. I think he is just on the rise. He's a really good broadcaster. And they will be doing college football Friday nights for ESPN. I'm happy for them. I like Mike Monaco a lot. The few times I've interacted with him, I think he's a really quality broadcaster. That's great. I still maintain, and I say this a few times a year, really, but I hate that college football has decided to make Friday night a college football night. And it's not just one-off small I mean, the Big Ten's playing on Friday nights. And I know money is all anybody wants. It's just, I need more money, give me more money, more money, more money. And that's all college sports is operating under. That's what they want. It's just more money. Friday night should be reserved for high school football.
I completely agree.
We have got to protect the roots of the sport. And high school football on a Friday night is the roots of the sport. Mm-hmm. And putting it on TV, however small the number, does take a person that would otherwise go spend their Friday night at the local high school football game. It incentivizes them not to go, number one. And number two, the people that live in the towns that are hosting these games have to make a choice. And there's just something special about high school Friday, college Saturday, NFL Sunday that is being lost now in these football weekends, and I don't like it. I think it needs to be protected, and I really think ESPN should reconsider, or whatever network is doing these Friday games, they should reconsider.
It's surprising the coaches haven't pushed back further, because a lot of coaches want to go to high school games to recruit. They want to see players live in games. And, of course, parents, coaches have sons that play football, and they can't – it's tough enough being a parent as a coach, but when your son plays football and you can't go to the game because, I've got a game that night, you're correct. Fridays are for high school football. And I don't see the need. You don't have to have it every day. So.
No, you really don't. And you can really kind of blame the NFL for kicking this off, but, Sundays are now watered down because you have Monday and Thursday, and now we've got Wednesday games upcoming around the holidays, and you can have too much of a good thing. Having a beer is good. Having 30 in a day is not good. There's layers to that.
Let's analyze that. Did your team lose? Maybe 30 beers is what you need to get through that.
It's still not good.
It's not great, but sometimes it's a great coping mechanism. 30 is a lot. I'm sure most of us have done a case in a day and probably regretted it the next day. But 30, that extra 6 makes a difference, I would think. So yeah. But football Friday nights, that's for high school football. And that's the way that's the foundation upon which this nation was built.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, I will physically see you tomorrow.
That's right. We will be in Laurel, as I am correct, for the Diamond Youth Baseball Little League World Series. So 3 to 6 tomorrow, live in the great city of Laurel. And we are looking forward to that. We are going to be on the road a lot over the next 2 months. We've got the Not Fall Camp Tour coming this Tuesday. We will be at Sully's in Hattiesburg. We're going to have some live guests. We're going to have some stuff to give away. We're going to be at the Landing in Starkville on August the 11th. I believe our Oxford location is still TBD.
They're still working on that, as I understand.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll have a place for you there. But we've got remotes all over the state of Mississippi in the next 2 months. So come out and see us when you can. And we're looking forward to crisscrossing this great state as we get into the start of the college football season. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm Hey Dad, he's Borky. Later.
SuperTalk Mississippi Media Production.